Once upon a time, the infamous rover Reynardo plundered the floating isles. Then his mother called him to her deathbed. "Swear to me that you won't die on the gallows," she rasped. Reluctantly, he swore. And he whiled away his days at home with music, cards, and wine. But the Emperor had changed. He'd been good once, a shy, almost humble toad. He'd built universities. Then people started whispering about mass graves in the woods, midnight rituals, victims screaming. The Imperial ravens would round up entire villages, and no one ever returned. The ravens had come to Ubar scouting for ancient books said to be of great power. But the librarians had hidden the books, so they'd burnt the librarians. The citizens, outraged, had driven them off. The ravens had come back with dropships. The kid had fled with one of those books. He was brave and dumb and wanted to join the rebellion. And Reynardo had promised his mother he'd protect him. The kid was looking down, watching his city burn. "Sorry, kid," Reynardo told the kid. "Look, if we give them the book, they'll leave you alone." "My mother died for this book!" "I promised her I'd protect you." "Oh, damn it." The kid had run off. With the book, of course. So Reynardo had to run after him. The two ravens were staring at the kid like he was their dinner, which probably was what was in their tiny brains. "Hey," Reynardo said. They cocked their heads at him. "Pick on someone as ugly as you." Wait, that didn't come out right. "For the Emperor!" The ravens cawed and rushed at him. A dropship flew overhead. He hoped they hadn't noticed him. The kid. Oh, right. The Gate of Heroes. Someone's idea of a joke, making the Skyship docks a gated community. You needed a hero's sword to open it. And the kid was on the other side of the gate. "Who let you through? Promise me you'll take the book to the rebels, or I'm gonna steal your ship." "I'm not taking that damn book anywhere, and neither are you." "Try and stop me," laughed the kid. "I bet you don't even have a hero sword." And with that, the kid hopped away. Had to hand it to the kid. He was an idiot, but he had guts. Where was Reynardo going to get a hero sword? And wind essence? Perfect. A hero sword. QED. This is what he got for settling down and finding people to care about. The kid's mum had been a swell cook, and she'd laughed at Renado's jokes, even when he didn't know he'd made one. And then the ravens had come to burn her. And she'd made him promise to protect the kid. But she never told him where the book was. Just the kid. He came up to a ledge. It was too far to jump. There'd been a bridge here before, hadn't there? And there was Peter, giggling at him. "How'd you get across?" he asked the kid. "Where'd you find a hook?" "I hopped," said the kid. Wise-ass kid. "Hey, look out behind you!" "Cute," said Renado. Ah, ravens. It was time to talk some sense into the kid. Just hook his way across the ledge and chase the kid down. Thing was, he hadn't used his hook since he'd retired. How had he done it? Maybe if he meditated at that altar there, he'd remember his old skills. Starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember. And there was the Farfarer. She was the fastest ship he'd ever known. She could do the Kestra run in 12 furlongs. Well, so the salesman had told him. And something told him the kid was about to walk into an ambush. "Stop!" he shouted. "I'm not giving you the book!" shouted the kid, and took off. "No! Peter!" The kid ran for it, and a goggler nailed him with its ivy. The book was unburned. Next to it were the buckles from the kid's shoes, and a kid-sized pile of ashes. Damn it. Why hadn't he lied and told the kid he'd take the book to the rebels? The kid would be alive now. Really pissed off and betrayed, but alive. Oh, damn it. Renado picked up the book. He couldn't let the Empire have it now. He was going to have to get it out of there. He'd be a wanted man. Probably have to join the rebellion just to have a place to dock. Well, he'd hated home life anyway. What was the big deal about this book anyway? Maybe he should open it and find out. All that had been years ago. How many? The war was a blur, and now 3 Raven scout ships were chasing him. "Where are you running, rebel?" cawed the Raven captain over the loudhailer. Renado could see them cranking up their catapults. "Just going out for milk?" Renado yelled back. "Where can you run?" laughed the Raven horribly. Far behind him, another city was burning. The dark cloud above its island was thousands of Imperial ships. The fleet was doing a thorough job. "Take us to the rebel base, and we'll spare your life!" it cawed. The entire jury-rigged rebel fleet was only a few islands to the east. Beyond that were only the pillars of heaven, a sea of endless blood-colored tornadoes. The rebellion was out of time, unless Renado could bring a game-changer. Maybe he could. Renato had found out where he could find the pieces of the Skyripper, the legendary weapon that had exiled the lost gods. Surely a legendary weapon could win the final battle. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino had sent Renato a desperate message saying he had a brilliant scheme to save the rebellion. If Renato could only rescue him. Renato dived the Farfarer towards the abyss. As he felt the heat of the jet stream, the Raven ships peeled off, not stable enough to follow him down there. Now it was time to choose. Lapino or the Skyripper. Every child knew about the Skyripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light? This Emperor, Isengrim III, had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth? It was more than Renato could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it. As he set foot on the island, Renato could not help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Skyripper? Renato never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Skyripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it? Huh? A lever? That was new. Most people still use doorknobs. The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Skyripper could destroy anything it touched, or so the legend said. As the Transcendent Emperor had fought the lost gods, thousands and thousands had died. But Renato had been through wars. The only merciful war was a short one. He wasn't that good. Yet. petals, ready to blossom within him, or something.
Can't we just agree to disagree? Said Renato. No?
Puzzle. Renato loved puzzles. Except when he couldn't figure them out. On the other hand, if there was a puzzle, it was probably meant to keep people away from something good. Who leaves these chests everywhere? Wondered Renato. I should send him a thank you note. There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway. The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist. But first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart. A core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him. was a no-brainer. He'd sacrificed his old friend Lapino to get the armature. And the armature was useless by itself, only a series of coils and wheels. War demanded sacrifices, and he would make more before the end. He would have to choose the greatest good, no matter how much it cost him. Zenobia. Well, he would see her sooner or later, across a battlefield or a sword's point before all this was over. He was sure of that. The power was in the core. Obviously, he had to get the core. Doubt sunk in before he was even out of sight of the Farfarer. Why had he chosen the Skyripper? It was the sort of path he'd always avoided. The path of responsibility, of seriousness. Had he grown up? He didn't feel grown up. He'd made this decision from his gut, like he always did. Somehow, he'd impulsively decided to stop being impulsive. Did that make any sense? Renato felt a little bad stealing crafting materials from chests. He preferred to rob them from people at sword point. I wonder what I could make with all these sword crafting materials, thought Renato. There was something sour in the air. Like the earth had ruptured over something that had been fermenting for a very long time. Ooh, sparkly, thought Renato. Here. There were fewer and fewer trees. There were only these huge crystalline growths. Had those been here before? He no longer heard birds except for the feverish cawing of the ravens when they attacked. He couldn't smell the small animals of the forest, the mice and rabbits. Where had they gone? And he was getting hungry, too. This was an unhealthy place to be. The 20-sided core made him feel physically sick. Once he had sneaked into a temple of the dark arts, and he hadn't liked what he smelt and saw there. This felt like that. As quick as he could, he wrangled the icosahedron into the armature. The wheels began to spin, then glow. The sick feeling quickly spun away. Now he only felt sad. He had lost good friends for this war apparatus. He carried his prize back to the Farfarer. Now, he had to make his next move. There was a key Imperial outpost on the Nexus. If this really was some sort of super weapon, he could use it to wreak havoc on the enemy. And if it wasn't, well, better to know that before the final battle. But maybe he should show it to some scientists first. There was an observatory on the Nexus. Maybe he should go there before he fired it. Renato had never been much of a student. At Sword Fu School, he'd never read the books, just looked at the pictures. I'm Zenobia. But weapons, he understood. His gut told him that the Skyripper would work great. He would use it to take out the Imperial outpost. And what's the worst that could happen? The thing wouldn't work, and then he'd take it to the scientists. Right? Exactly. As he set out down the path, Renato wondered why the parts of the Skyripper had only surfaced now, thousands of years after the Transcendent Emperor had discarded it. This Emperor, Isengrim III, had performed terrible, bloodthirsty rituals to invoke the lost gods. Perhaps that was bringing up lost artifacts. How perfect, then, that the Skyripper would reappear to be his destruction. This is quite the view, he thought. Renato loved to improve his gear. This chest smelled kind of funky. He hoped he didn't get it in his clothes.
How's that now? Can you hear me? There we go. Okay, I do not know what happened there. Oh, there we go. That's what I get for using cheap house headphones.
He was tired of slaughtering ravens. Maybe it was time to test out the new weapon. He turned a knob on the Skyripper. It made strange, mechanical noises. The wheels spun faster. It began to hum. The Skyripper was following his every step. At least it acknowledged him as the master. But there was no trigger. How was he supposed to fire it? Fire, he said. Nothing happened. Well, maybe it just needed to warm up. After all, it hadn't been fired in thousands of years.
This thing is broken as hell. I'm gonna save it now.
His blood was up. He just needed to smash something.
Sure, why not? Yeah, I get that a lot, Terry. Yeah, I get that a lot. How do I get over there? Ah, shit, can't remember how to get over there. Ah, shit. That's what I get for looking at chat. Thank God this thing is broken.
The Skyripper was making a whining noise now, and its wheels were spinning so fast he could no longer see them. Renato had a thought.
Please? He asked.
The Skyripper began to glow. Boom! The outpost burst into flame. Ravens flapped out screaming, wings on fire. The base was his. The fast speaker toad came hopping out. Renato! It croaked, sounding like a toad version of Zenobia.
Don't use the Skyripper. It will destroy the world.
Yeah, sure it will, cracked Renato. Pull the other one.
If you don't trust me, go see Calaveras. He'll tell you the same thing.
Oh, she would say that. That sounded sensible. Why did she always have to sound sensible all the time? Oh, it was infuriating.
Of course she would say that. He was supposed to hurry and bring the Skyripper to the council so the rebels could actually win the war. But what if she was right?
Damn it.
Okay, so you can probably hear me this time. Which one we doing, top or bottom? You going to see a wise old toad, or are we going to go all destructive? See, Terry understands my problem. Oh god, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say. Terry actually understands what I'm on about. Oh. Now that's just weird saying that. Oh god. Top or bottom, guys? Of course MB reads Skyripper as stripper, of course.
Just this once, he would not let Zenobia get into his head with her logic and her wisdom and her appeals to reason. He was a fox. He'd go with his instincts, and it would all work out like it always did. Oh, he was sounding like a reckless idiot even to himself. But if there was one thing Renato could never bring himself to do, it was turn back on a decision he'd made.
So this game does get very repetitive. MB too corrupt. Malik's like, I need to see that.
Flapping and cawing all around the ruins. They must be panicking with rumors flying of the superweapon. Maybe they hoped to find and destroy the base before he could put the Skyripper into action. The Skyripper was whining and heating up. It would be time to use that energy soon.
Okay, as I was gonna say, this game does get very repetitive, I will say that now. So if I do another one of these, which I might, because it's a fun game. If I do another one of these, how do you want me to go for it? Envy's the most corrupt.
He was ready to learn new things. Thank goodness he didn't have to go to school for that.
Can I talk now, game? Can I talk? Yes? No? Yeah, so if I do another one of these, how would you like me to do it? Like, do you want me to go take a couple different choices, or go full on one path? Like all the top, all bottom, or do a couple?
There was a sign. Take the goat across first.
Can I craft a new sword? Maybe. Nope, but I can upgrade this, and I'll do that. Okay, Malik, nobody likes a smart ass. I'm pretty sure being a smart ass is Frey's job. Them camera angles though.
What was Zenobia talking about? This was a fantastic weapon. Ravens burst into flames with just a touch of its killer beam.
Yeah, he was tempted to leave it on all the time, but he didn't want to accidentally slice off some council toad's head or tongue. She'd been trying to distract him. Well, this time, no one was going to distract him. The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
MB, Frey's screens are popular because of you, because you make it interesting in chat.
That was awesome!
Ouch. Oh yeah, I should have done this. I need to upgrade that. Oh, I'm so dead.
Don't be shy.
Is there anywhere where I can get health? Nope. This is great. Oh wait, I might not need to.
As he headed towards the council chamber, Renato felt everyone watching him.
You saved the rebellion, said the council speaker. Frankly, we were afraid you'd turn aside to see that idiot Lapino.
If you never make sacrifices, he said, you're probably not doing the right thing. The speaker nodded.
Are you ready to lead the charge?
Let's roll, he said, with grim satisfaction. Renato set sail for the fleet. The Skyripper had lost its wine. It was humming now, as if it had taken some time to seat properly. He had always been irresponsible. This time, he'd done the right thing, made the hard decisions. He was a real hero. He hadn't let himself be distracted by old friends or old lovers turned enemies. Finally, he could be proud of himself.
What are you lot talking about?
He was ready. So was Skyripper. The Skyripper had a will of its own. It picked out its own targets and set them on fire.
This was going to be a short battle. He would set the ships on fire if he didn't need them to get to the Emperor. And he wondered if he'd see Zenobia, or if she'd flee. Wouldn't she be proud of him? At least, a bit of respect. He'd become an all-conquering hero. Sharp? Check. Pointy? Check. Flexible? Check. What else do you need in a sword?
It's normal, you don't need to worry about that stuff just yet. Just stay innocent, enjoy your childhood.
It was starting to come back to him. Something you never completely forgot, like how to freeze time when attacking. The more he fought, the more he'd probably remember.
What's around here? Aha!
Hey, I'm a firefox, thought Renato.
Oh god, it's...
It was good to practice your moves, thought Renato.
It did the thing again. It's the only problem with this game, sometimes it'll glitch out like that. Yeah, you're gonna crop Snarmal. Poor dude.
Who needed bridges anyway?
There were stickers all over the platform for really hot lady bosses, with pictures and addresses and everything.
Oop. Nothing too difficult. Nothing too difficult, as he says, getting shot.
Signpost. It was from her. Every time you fire, you risk the destruction of the universe. That's insane. We surrender. A trick? Maybe she really believed it. He could hear horns blaring the retreat. Maybe it was true. Maybe they had one.
Like the world's heaviest bone right by it.
I'ma die. Anything? No. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh. Ooh, shield dudes now. Might be a bit more trickier. I don't remember how to kill this thing. Give me that health. Oh. There, kill. Really? No health?
And there was Zenobia, wearing the white robes of surrender. She came and kneeled before him. Why didn't you listen to me? I was trying to save you too. You're the enemy, you said. I was never your enemy, Renato. Then she spoke a terrible word and made a gesture with her hand. She stopped moving, covered in frost, and he wondered why she'd frozen herself. Then the Skyripper froze, and then, for a moment, he felt very cold and discovered that he couldn't move. The next thing he knew, the sun was a giant, monstrously red. It took up half the sky, and he was in a parched red desert. And then he was on fire.
Okay, that was weird. He could have sworn he just died. Instead, he was on the Farfarer, sailing away from Ubar. And it was still burning. He'd fled burning Ubar years ago, hadn't he? And now he was back there. Had all those years fighting the Empire been nothing but a vision into the future? A useful vision if it was true. He'd learned something.
Zenobia still had feelings for him.
Okay, that was our first one.
He'd made bad choices. But now, when the real battle came, he wouldn't make those choices. He wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The book's pages began to flip backwards, towards the beginning. And he realized that his adventure was just beginning. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Skyripper had surfaced. Or so a scholar in the mountains had told him. Surely the weapon that banished the lost gods could defeat the Emperor. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Skyripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Reynardo. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Alright, top, middle, bottom. Top, middle, bottom, guys. Really? You want to do the same one we just done? Okay. Everyone going for middle. Okay.
Every child knew about the Skyripper. The Transcendent Emperor had buried its pieces. What could have brought them to light?
No, too late now. Terry.
Had once been kind, but he'd gone mad. And now he was conducting secret, obscene rituals to bring back the lost gods. Had he, somehow, summoned the long-lost components of the legendary weapon out of the deep places of the earth? It was more than Reynardo could fathom. But if he could find a legendary weapon, he would use it. As he set foot on the island, Reynardo could not help but feel a tinge of guilt. He'd left Lapino behind. He hoped the Mad Rabbit had somehow escaped the Ravens. He hoped they hadn't eaten him. If they had, he hoped they hadn't eaten him alive. Why had he chosen the Skyripper? Reynardo never made plans that required constant vigilance. He was a hero. He didn't think too much. He just went with his gut and hoped it all worked out. The Skyripper was a long shot. He'd have to devote himself to it. No side journeys, no rescuing old friends. That was against his nature. Could he stick with it?
Just trying to speed run past this bit since we've already done it. Don't want to make you all watch the same thing over again.
The people who had built this castle, did they even know what monstrous weapon lay hidden within their walls? The Skyripper could destroy anything it touched, or so the legend said. As the Transcendent Emperor had forced the lost gods, thousands of thousands had died. But Reynardo had been through wars. The only merciful war was a short one.
Hey, what do ravens say when they die? Never mind. I'll wait.
Oh, I don't remember how to defeat these guys.
He really wasn't making a dent in those shields.
Oh wait, is it? No. Oh lord, I can't remember how to defeat the shield dude. Oh lord. Oh god, I legit can't remember how to kill him.
Those sheaths were really very well made, weren't they?
You know. Am I really gonna die? Oh wait. No, 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 no. No, I don't feel like dying. I don't remember how to kill these dudes. Oh god, it's just sad, I can't remember how to kill him. Shit. There, finally.
This was not going
Oh,
spectacularly
Lord.
well, thought Renato.
I read chat and I just see MB saying, "Who's Asuna?" MB, I don't know you anymore. Nope. You're no longer my little sis. Get out.
I can't be dying, he thought. I'm the hero.
Stay down. Aha. Oh lord, what is my chat right now? You know what? I shouldn't be surprised. I really shouldn't. Especially with MB in chat, I should not be surprised one
Give me a
bit.
lever, said Archimedes, and I shall open a gate.
I mean, with MB and Malik in chat, I should not be surprised with whatever you're saying. What to do now? More health? Maybe. Ah, that's what I wanted. There we go.
There it was. Skyripper's armature. The stuff that dreams are made of. Engineers' dreams, anyway.
The device was intricate. No one alive had the skill to make a thing like it. How was it part of a weapon at all? He'd have to ask a scientist, but first, he'd get the second piece. Skyripper had a heart, a core that had come to rest on the next island. Well, there was another island he could reach. Zenobia had just invaded it with her father's Raven battalions. She must be encamped there still. But fighting Zenobia now, that made no sense at all. He'd already sacrificed one friend to get this armature, was it? He didn't need to hurry to face her. She would find him.
Okay. Y'all want me to go after the next part of Skyripper, getting the core of it, or shall I go do this? Shall I go find Zenobia? Y'all want to see the same thing happen again, just with a different... I'm gonna do Tom, I don't want to do the same thing over again.
Why he changed course to confront Zenobia. He'd no idea. Sometimes he would just do things, and he could never figure out why he'd done them. Usually, they worked out. After all, he was a hero. The truth is, though, he wanted to see her, wasn't it? It had been a dozen years since Swordfru School. He'd followed every rumor about her, every scrap of news. Not that he still loved her. After all, she was his enemy. No, it was solely because, know your enemy. All right, maybe he should stop pretending. He knew exactly how she felt about him. But their love affair always ended with a tragic death. Unless, maybe he could find a way to dodge tragedy. Surely he could, couldn't he?
Wow, looks like everyone agrees with that one. Look at all the dead rabbits and crows just lying on the ground. Too bad I can't eat their corpses.
Hero wall, hero sword, ice wall, ice cube.
Malik, that's an easy one. Smash instantly. Don't even gotta ask me.
With materials like this, he could probably make a really nice pair of barbecue tongs. Or even a sword.
Ow. No, you stay down.
Reynardo wasn't entirely sure how he was going to capture Zenobia. She'd be expecting him. And he didn't have Lapino to cook up a clever plan. Why was it again that he hadn't got the core?
Need so much ore just to get these.
Boom!
See, Malik understands it, sure. Nah. See, ultimate sword first, diamond dash, nah. More sword magic. Meh. I kinda want this though.
Nice. That could be useful.
Hey, bitch. Ah, Lord. Not religion. No. Oh, what, are you going to get a sauna, Snarl? Jammy bastard. Oh, give me that health. There we go, let's meet Zenobia.
Reynardo slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek, how soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She vanished. And he suddenly noticed he couldn't move except his mouth. In fact, soon he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He told Zenobia everything. Skyripper, the rebellion plans, even where the secret rebel base was, until he was hoarse. It was some kind of truth spell. A talky truth spell. She called her father by Farspeaker Toad and filled His Majesty in. But why didn't he get the core? Croaked the Farspeaker in something like His Majesty's croak. Because I missed you, darling. Reynardo grinned. He doesn't even know why, frowned Zenobia. That makes no sense. It's a trap, shouted the Emperor. I'll meet you at the Outpost, and I'll bring my interrogators. If Reynardo came face to face with the Emperor, maybe he could assassinate him. But maybe it would be smarter and safer to turn Zenobia against her father.
Alright, whoever's in chat, top or bottom, first one to see him choosing. Top or bottom, guys, top or bottom? Do we try and gain the assistance of Zenobia, or just go straight after the Emperor? Bottom? Alright, bottom it is.
What are you doing? Asked Zenobia. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He asked her. She shook her head. He told her. His Majesty wanted to bring the lost gods back. They could make him an eater of souls, an immortal. But to seal his bargain with them, he needed a sacrifice. Someone who truly loved him. She was stunned. Furious. You're lying. Under a truth spell? It's a trick. You can't prove that. Take me to the observatory, and I will.
Yeah, I've got some pepperoni pizza here. And I ain't muting my mic so you'll hear me eating and screaming while it's boiling hot. Is that all you can stay awake for, Terry? 3 to 4 days?
What kind of proof could you possibly have? She said as they landed on the Nexus. Your father ritually sacrificed a village. And he left witnesses? The scientists resurrected one. Well, it's not really alive, but it can talk. A true witness. She frowned. The dead can't lie. Well, I bet they could. They just don't have any reason to. She nodded grimly. You go on ahead. I don't want the ravens to see me.
Yeah, try staying up a week and then come back to me. Oh wait, hold on. Damn it, no health. Alright, see you, MB.
Once you try it,
Go enjoy your
you're
food.
hooked.
Get out of it.
It was a bit windy up here.
Health anywhere. Oh no, there is a chest though. Chest, just what I want. Just me, you, Malik, and Terry the asshole.
He was more and more extraordinary.
Terry, you're an asshole because you're, well, you're just Terry. Get out of it.
His fault. They looked so breakable.
Oh no, I just missed some. God damn it. Just missed materials. God damn it. Malik, that ain't your body and your brain being weak, that's just you in general.
She caught up with him. Don't you think I'd know if my father wanted to invoke the Lost Gods? Would he tell you? No. Would you help him? No. I'd burn his books. Why'd he adopt a stray cat? You don't ask a thing like that. No. Not when there's no good answer, she said, her whiskers twitching.
Oh god, please don't glitch out again.
Learned enough secrets from Renato to crush the rebellion. It will be a fair trade if the scientists could convince Zenobia to change sides.
How much more do I need? Why do I need so much? I need so much materials just to make this. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna stay back here. Oh god, no.
Some people are just liable to explode if you upset them.
No, 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 don't attack it, don't attack it. Ah. Yay. We now have the suicide bomber dudes. I shall probably get one more ending this stream, then I'll probably call
This chest
it.
contained blank passports from 15 countries. And something useful.
I'll get one more ending, then I'll call this I'll call the stream there, because they are quite long to get the endings.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The ravens had burned the reanimated witness to cinders. Renato was stunned. There goes my proof. These were scientists, not rebels, Zenobia said, upset. Why would he do this? I don't know. Let's go to the fleet and ask him.
Yes. I'll meet you on the mountains. There's something I have to get first.
But could he afford to meet her in the mountains? He'd given the Empire the location of the secret rebel base. They would need rescuing.
I believe this is the last choice, so which one do you want to see? Top or bottom, guys? Do we go rescue the rebels, which is bottom? Or do we go meet Zenobia in the mountains? Well, Terry says go rescue the rebels, so that's what we're doing.
Bernardo was torn. He wanted Zenobia to see the truth of her father. But she could get the truth out of her father faster without him tagging along. Meanwhile, the fleet would soon be knocking on the door of the secret rebel base. Bernardo had better be there when they did.
Yeah, it's a good game, right? It just gets very repetitive sometimes if you're trying to get all the endings. I'd say my favourite thing about the game is its art style.
So he had given the Skyripper's core to the Empire. He felt stupid about that. He hoped the Emperor didn't bring the Skyripper against the base. There was nothing he could do to fight a legendary weapon. Renato hated when he screwed up. One of these days, he would learn to look before he pounced. But today, is not that day. He intoned for his own amusement.
Terry, I've heard of Bastion before, but I've never actually seen someone play it. Sorry if I offended anyone or triggered you, but I really don't care at this point.
Smashing things was fun.
Ooh, health, health. Oh no, that's energy. God damn it. Oh god, I can't get that one. Oh, what's happened? Interesting predicament. Oh god, what? Oh, there we go, finally. That was weird.
Can I borrow that?
My favorite sword's the one that costs the most. 70 and 12. $20 more ore. 20 ore. You're probably the only person to ever say you don't get triggered by stuff like that, Terry. Pick that up, pick it up. There we go.
I'm sorry. Was that your shield?
Alright, let's go.
Decided not to tell the Council he'd given the Empire Skyripper's core and the location of the secret base. They needed him in battle, not in the brig, right?
There we go. Give me that health. Don't want to waste that energy.
Renato checked to make sure his sword was still working. Yep.
Use the altar. What should we get? What do we want to get? No. Sword magic. Let's guess.
If I craft a sword now,
this way?
it's going to be really short.
Aha, knew there was a chest somewhere. Alright, let's get out of here. I really want to show you my favorite storyline in this game.
The raven was slumped in a pile of its own feathers, like a tree in November.
You can't stop us. The Emperor has a weapon no warrior can defend against.
What happened to you? Renato asked. But the raven chose that moment to go to the great nest in the sky. So they'd made the core into a weapon. That wasn't good.
Yay.
Take a leap of faith, said the inscription.
Let's go kill some more crows. Oh lord, that hurt.
Hoped his hook didn't break.
Give me all that energy. Yeah, the sound effects in this game is really good as well as the art style. Like, the gameplay is a bit repetitive, but that's about my, that's probably my only, thing I don't like about this game. It's very repetitive. Just like me trying to talk to you lot. Heal up all the way.
The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Someone needs a bath.
Oh, I lost my combo at the end. Boo. Yeah, imagine trying to walk down them stairs in real life, Malik. Hell no. Ah, I need to come here. Okay.
Renato had never slain so many ravens. The secret base was gonna stink of burnt feathers for months. The council speaker was confused.
Our spies say Zenobia has gone berserk. She attacked and destroyed an entire squadron of dropships.
This was amazing good news. He'd shown her the Emperor's evil. Now she'd gone over to the rebel side. Now is our moment. Attack! Renato exulted. They could win this thing. Zenobia commanded half the fleet. Who would follow the mad Emperor when they could follow his heir, who was wise and smart and a brilliant sorceress besides? But what about the core and the Iblis stone? What evil could the Emperor wreak with those? As he closed in on the Imperial fleet, Renato liked his odds.
Also, you've been to Hong Kong, Terry?
Oh, how had he gotten into this mess? He'd never set out to be a hero. When he was a kid, he'd wanted to be a great cat burglar, until his mother had explained about foxes and cats. And then the Emperor had gone mad, and started sacrificing kittens to the lost gods. There were a lot of dead ravens here.
You've walked
Who had slain them?
2,000 stairs and you've been to Hong Kong. You know? Oh, I wish I could go to Hong Kong. Jelly bastard.
The portal was heavily guarded. Let's go someplace
Get that off
that
you
he
first.
didn't want him to go.
Die. Why is it always this one part of the game that does that?
The platform used a hybrid propulsion system fueled by anti-gravity and
Let's go.
wishful thinking.
Ah, goddammit. I did the thing. That's a hell of a mix, Terry. Chinese and Scottish? I've never heard of that combo before. Like, I'm English and Scottish. Hence the weird accent. Ah! Get off me. Come here. Parents aren't Scottish.
There were raven bodies everywhere.
Okay.
The precision of the wounds. Renato recognized her style.
It appeared that she was single-handedly turning the tides of the battle. Good. That left the Emperor with only the core. Against him, all the rebels, his daughter...
Yeah, same here, Malik. That's the first time I've heard of that one.
Alongside her. But they'd meet up soon enough.
Going as well, damn. Ah, I'm getting beat up. Get back here. There we go. Oh, not done yet. Now we are. It's a hell of a mix on you. I need to check Ancestry as well. I want to know my history. Ugh. Yeah, pizza getting stuck in my mouth. Ooh.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
Let's go. It's gonna take a while. Oh god, these are annoying. They damage boost them. Which isn't too bad. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Yeah, it's a problem, these things. Oh lord. Ah.
What were these poles exactly? Parking meters from the time of the lost gods?
Alright, let's go. You take care of you first. Get out of there. Get back here.
Zenobia was cutting down the Emperor's bodyguard like they were mushrooms. The Emperor was frantically readying some arcane instrument, brass and hammered steel wrapped around a glowing, thrumming sphere. Skyripper's core. Zenobia! Renato shouted. But he had no idea what else to say. Revenge! She shouted as she cut the last bodyguard down. A ray lanced out of the sphere. Everything around her burst into flames, but her sword seemed only to absorb it. She walked towards Isengrim III like she was walking against a river. Nothing could stop her. They were going to win. Zenobia stabbed the Emperor dead and flicked the moaning apparatus off. She was laughing hysterically. Or weeping, maybe. They had won. He ran to her. I killed my own father. She wept, and he held her. He told her he loved her. He would pull her back from the brink of madness. But the core thrummed louder and louder. At that moment, Renato understood that the core was going to explode catastrophically. And that this could have been victory. The Emperor and his daughter dead, the fleet destroyed. He'd almost been a hero. A legendary one, maybe. If only he and the rebel fleet hadn't been here. Renato stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that. But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learned another true thing. The core was powerful, but dangerous if used improperly. But that meant there must be a destiny where he survived and won, right? Otherwise, what was the point? And with that, the book's pages fluttered back once more to the beginning, and the clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Skyripper had surfaced. Renato knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Skyripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis stone was hidden? Someone better get it before he does, thought Renato. On the other hand, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Lapino was no game changer, but could Renato really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Okay guys, I think I'm gonna end stream here. Next time, I think, actually, let's decide now. So next time, if I do stream this, we know. Will we go save our old friend Lapino, or go find the temple? Alright, so we'll save our old friend Lapino next time. Alright. Now that I know that, let's end the stream. Thanks for staying the entire time, guys. I do appreciate it. I shall see you next time if I play this again. Well, bye guys. Have a nice day or night, wherever you are. Goodbye.